This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Clock ticking. Canadian and U.S. officials work to finalize a trade deal as a midnight tariff deadline looms. Indigenous enterprise. Glooscap First Nation opens a new market selling directly to their local community. And Nova Scotia venues mark the anniversary of the Tragically Hip's iconic final concert.
Not too bad for your Fridays. Saturday shaping up to be all right, but some very heavy rain is on the way for Sunday into Monday too. We have some advisories in effect, and I'll have your full forecast just ahead.
Good evening. There are just a few hours to go before U.S. President Donald Trump's new 50% tariffs take effect on hundreds of Canadian goods. Negotiations are coming down to the wire in Washington between Canadian and U.S. officials. The CBC's Olivia Stefanovich has the latest on the ongoing trade talks.
Sources with knowledge of the negotiations tell CBC News Canada is expected to get tariff relief, but that some form of levies will still exist against aluminum, steel, autos, and forestry products. Federal opposition leaders are raising the alarm, urging the federal government to stand firm in the face of U.S. pressure.
Mr. Carney, keep your promise. Fight for Canada. Don't take a bad deal. We expect a good deal, like you promised. And in fact, Mr. Carney said that he would get an even better deal than we had before. Well, before we had no tariffs. So we expect that he would at least match that.
We have every sympathy in the world for what our negotiators are going through. We are Team Canada, but we do not want to see us cave on our values and what matters to Canadians to protect our resources through economic sovereignty.
A source with knowledge of the talks tells CBC News that Canada is pursuing a three-stage approach. The first stage involves an interim deal, which is what Canada's negotiating team is trying to land right now. They're trying to throw away the 50% levy that the U.S. administration is threatening on hundreds of Canadian goods set to kick in after midnight, while also reducing sectoral tariffs. The second stage involves discussions with the Americans on cooperation over energy and critical minerals for defense purposes. And the third stage involves talks on the renewal of the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement known as CUSMA. Now, the Prime Minister who negotiated that agreement is now speaking publicly for the first time about the tentative deal with the U.S.
I had the opportunity and the challenge a number of years ago of renegotiating NAFTA, and the reason we got to a good deal was because Canadians were strong, Canadians were united.
Former Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland is also commenting on the potential agreement. She says it's a bad outcome for both Canada and the U.S. She says Canada shouldn't accept any tariffs from the U.S., and she says American protectionism is self-mutilating. She also says that in her view, the Prime Minister is accepting a less favorable deal in exchange for business certainty. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
Meanwhile, Premier Tim Houston is now backing a request from Prime Minister Mark Carney to put American booze back on store shelves. It's in spite of some premiers digging in, signaling their elbows are still up. Houston says if it's good for the country, he will comply.
It's not my desire to try to play my own politics with it or try to, maneuver it some way where I think it benefits me in some way. This is about the country. This is about tens of thousands of jobs across our country. Those are all families, they're all Canadians, and they need the support of the leadership, elected, business, community, all those things to push in the same way.
Houston also says the federal government has also asked that the provinces do not exclude the U.S. in procurement policies. The teen who stabbed two employees at Charles P. Allen High School in 2023 has had his sentence changed from probation to a conditional discharge. This reduces the amount of time that his record will be available. The attacker was 15 at the time of the incident, and his name is protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act. His defense team applied for this change because his future education and career goals will require volunteer and extracurricular experience. The judge proved it because she said the teen has made progress integrating into the community and is low risk to reoffend. Angela Light is one of the employees who was stabbed. She was in the courtroom.
Would you feel comfortable with someone that tried to end two people's lives, volunteering with nonverbal children or animals or people that could not necessarily speak for themselves?
The teen must follow various conditions, including a weapons ban and curfew until the end of next month. The Whale Sanctuary Project in Guysborough County has taken another significant step. The province has issued a 20-year lease, renewable for another 20 years, for 83 hectares of Crown lands and coastal waters in Port Hilford Bay in Indian Harbour. Last year, Premier Tim Houston's cabinet granted approval for the lease. Project officials say this builds on a groundbreaking ceremony and the signing of a memorandum of understanding with the Assembly of Nova Scotia Mi'kmaq Chiefs. The site will care for whales retiring from marine parks. The project still requires permits from the Federal Fisheries Department. A new spot in the Annapolis Valley is making it easier to shop local and support Indigenous-owned businesses. Juliana Grillo takes us inside the community-driven market boosting local vendors and driving economic self-reliance for Glooscap First Nation.
This is Glooscap Market, located off of Highway 101 in the Annapolis Valley. It is owned by Glooscap First Nation and aims to give vendors, from fishermen to makers, a place to sell their products back to the community.
I think it's a fabulous opportunity for exposure.
The market sells local seafood, fresh produce, and baked goods. It also has products from artists and small businesses, like clothes, beauty products, and preserves. The idea for the market came up more than a decade ago at an engagement session with band members.
Yeah, for us, it's all about, self-determination. This again was a grassroots decision that the community said they wanted to see, and again, we just listened and followed through on it. So for us, the revenues that are created by this, again, a 100% community-owned business.
It's great opportunity for people shopping here because the prices are amazingly low. I think it's just wonderful all the way around for community.
The market is part of Glooscap's plan to be more self-reliant as a First Nation. It already owns 5 commercial fishing vessels, a processing and distribution company, and a live lobster holding and storage operation. With Glooscap Market, Peter says it now owns another place where customers can find community products.
Just felt that was the best method for us, and we've also allows the public to have more faith in our fisheries product when they know where it's being caught and how it's being caught when they come to our market.
And the market has lots of opportunity to grow. The building was made with expansion in mind, depending on the success and demand. There is also an ice cream stall set to open in 2027. Juliana Grillo, CBC News, Glooscap Landing.
And Jay is here with a first look at the weather. So really nice Friday. Saturday sounds good, but Sunday is a little tricky.
Yeah, I mean, very soggy conditions, pretty strong winds coming in from the southeast as well as we look Saturday night into Sunday. You'll start to see the rain moving into the evening hours on Saturday, becoming heavier and moving more northern and eastern areas through the day into Sunday. And we have a special weather statement in place across much of mainland Nova Scotia for anywhere from local amounts of 50 to as much as or even topping 100 millimeters of rain. So we'll break down that rain for Sunday. Let's take a look at Saturday at the moment. And we do see a slight shower chance, that isolated shower chance with us this evening. Does diminish later this evening, though, with just a partly cloudy sky overnight. Fog will be possible into the morning hours tomorrow. And I do see those clouds beginning to increase through the day gradually. Temperatures will still be all right, not too bad, anywhere from the low to mid-20s. But late into the day on Saturday, we do see that wet weather moving in ahead of what will be a very wet and windy Sunday. And we'll have more on that just ahead.
All right, we'll talk soon. Thanks, Jay. It's been a week of swimming and making friends for dozens of kids. They're wrapping up their summer with a trip to camp that's just for kids with diabetes. And they're able to go thanks to a group of healthcare workers who use their vacation to work at the camp. Carolyn Ray reports.
It's a summer ritual for many children, a trip to camp away from their parents for the first time. But Camp Lyon Maxwell offers something else. It's just for kids in the Maritimes who have diabetes.
I feel like I belong here. It's like some magic in the air, kind of.
This is Ellie Rhino's third trip to camp. Her time away has made her confident with her diagnosis, now proudly showing off her insulin pump.
I would try to wear long sleeves and baggy pants so nobody would know, but now I like to express it and not afraid of showing it.
I think I said this is the best part of my summer. I look forward to it every year.
The kids get a chance to try archery, they play games, go swimming, and of course there's arts and crafts. But they also learn about diabetes, gathering around to talk about the condition that connects them.
Like, I didn't know that I didn't need to put like a little piece in my pump when I go in the water. Like, I used to do that all the time, and I guess I don't need it.
While some say their parents were nervous to let them go away for a week, they're comforted by the fact that these kids are surrounded by a medical team. 16 doctors, nurses, and paramedics volunteer to help out.
It's just about them getting to come and be kids first and not having to just worry about their diabetes less, and we make sure that everything keeps running smoothly and safely.
Each member of the medical team is motivated by their own stories. Some have diabetes themselves, others have family members with a diagnosis. They're giving up night shifts at work only to take on night shifts during their vacation.
They kind of come on at about around 10:30, and then they're on call overnight for if any kids come into the hut not feeling well or having an issue with their diabetes, and then they're up at least once a night going to all the cabins checking kids as well. It's so rewarding. It's a lot of fun, and we get to hang out as med staff too, so we have fun as adults.
And as another camp adventure wraps up, they'll say goodbye with smiles on their faces. All of them, kids and adults included, eager to come back next summer. Carolyn Ray, CBC News, Bars Corner, Nova Scotia.
This week marks a decade since the Tragically Hip played their last concert. Venues across Nova Scotia and the country have signed up to re-air the CBC's broadcast of the band's farewell. Josh Hoffman has more.
This is one of dozens of venues across Canada that are hosting official screenings this weekend of the Tragically Hip's final concert from 10 years ago. Millions of people tuned in to CBC's broadcast of the band's farewell show on August 20th, 2016. People came together all over the country to watch the beloved Canadian band's last performance. Now, a decade later, venues hope to recapture some of that magic.
It was just such a, singular, this moment of almost like national anticipatory grief, but also solidarity and also just this outpouring of love and appreciation.
The Tragically Hip announced their final tour after lead singer Gord Downey was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. As he battled the disease, Gord and the band played 15 shows in 10 Canadian cities. It all culminated in an emotional concert in their hometown of Kingston, Ontario, that was broadcast live across the country with nearly 12 million people tuning in that night.
There was no partisanship to that event, and people really came together to find joy in something that, could have been a very sad event, but the feeling, at that time was so wonderful.
The Old Sydney Society will host an official screening at the Sydney Museum. Mackenzie says he couldn't have signed up fast enough to be part of the national celebration.
And what Gord Downey was doing, with his twilight, months and his twilight time was really inspiring. And, I think organizations like Old Sydney Society have a role to play in fostering that kind of community sentiment.
Back on the South Shore, Williams and her husband feel re-airing the Hip's last concert helps them fulfill the mission they created for their store. Since opening a few years ago, they've wanted this to be a welcoming space for the community where neighbors and strangers can get to know each other better.
With that mission statement of social connection, this seems like a perfect chance to do that because that was a national moment of connections.
The Tragically Hip, a national celebration, will air Canada-wide on CBC platforms at 8 p.m. Atlantic on Saturday. Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Port Medway.
That's beautiful. A bee landing perfectly on the flower. Jay is up next with the full weather forecast. We'll see you in a few.
Prime.
And Jay is back with the full weather forecast. So it sounds like sort of the tale of 2 days on the weekend. One good, one a little trickier.
Yeah, I mean, we had a fair amount of sunshine today if you managed to get it off, but if you didn't, yeah, we'll see less sun tomorrow. Still not a bad Saturday, but Saturday night, really, we start to see that wet weather moving in. And then Sunday, even into early Monday, we are looking at that rain falling quite heavily on Sunday, though, and a very gusty wind to accompany that heavy rain. We do have a special weather statement in place. You can see that across much of mainland Nova Scotia, back up into the Fundy Coast and southeastern New Brunswick. They're in the 50 to amounts of around 80 millimeter range, mainly falling on Sunday. But across Nova Scotia, it's anywhere from local amounts over 50 to 100 millimeters or higher. So there is that potential for some very, very soggy conditions that could result in of course, keep an eye on low-lying areas. If your basement's prone to taking on water, you want to keep in mind out if you're doing any driving on Sunday that some roads could be washed out with these rainfall amounts, as 10 to 15 millimeters or more could fall in an hour. So that's a very high rate of rainfall with the thunderstorm potential that we do see on your Sunday. So in terms of those amounts, the forecast models are not quite in alignment just yet, but we'll take a look at one just to give you an idea of where that heavy rain potential is. You can see that across much of southeastern New Brunswick, but as you look towards Amherst, east of Truro, back along the Atlantic coast with that wind coming in from the southeast, really enhancing that rainfall. This is where you see that 60 to 80, 90 millimeters of rain, and local amounts of 100 millimeters or more cannot be ruled out. So just know, very heavy rain across most of Nova Scotia on Sunday. Even some heavier rain from more northern and eastern areas into early Monday will be possible. But yeah, there is that potential for some areas to see what could be a problematic amount of rain, 70, 80, 90 millimeters, and a lot of that falling in a few hours' time with those thunderstorm potential into the day on Sunday. That could result in some issues with infrastructure trying to keep up. So please keep that in mind. Daytime highs today, it was not bad. Anywhere from 23 to 28 degrees. Did feel near or over 30, so still a little on the muggy side, not quite as oppressive as what we saw yesterday, and still an isolated shower chance that could bubble up with that humid air in place over the next couple of hours. But then we'll see conditions begin to improve again as we get into the overnight hours tonight. Now, as that wind drops off overnight, we start to see some low clouds, some fog, even some drizzle starting to build in for the South Shore region, up into the valley, south towards Bridgewater, and eventually into the early morning hours. You see that working east into the Halifax area as well. I do expect in the morning more of a mix of sun and cloud. Once we see that low cloud and fog lift, we saw a bit of a foggy start to the day this morning, and that fog could be with us again tomorrow. We see the breaks of sunshine becoming more frequent late morning into the early afternoon, but towards supper time, the clouds do begin to increase for much of mainland Nova Scotia. Still fairly clear as that ridge of high pressure departs up into Cape Breton. And there's that rain Saturday night, moving in first to the South Shore region and then continuing to build in with a strong southeast wind ahead of that approaching warm front early Sunday. Periods of rain, heavy at times, thunderstorms possible as we see that warm front continuing to push north. Muggy conditions, but I think what folks will be focused on is the wind and more so the rain potential on Sunday. As we take a look at your forecast tonight, clouds will be increasing mainly at the surface. Low cloud, fog, drizzle possible, building its way from the South Shore region and east overnight into early tomorrow morning. Into the afternoon tomorrow, we do see sunnier conditions for more northern and eastern areas. Those clouds beginning to increase a little earlier for more southern and western parts of the province, and that's why you're looking at that rain arriving possibly even towards supper time or shortly after down into Yarmouth and into Digby, for example, likely holding off until the evening hours, later into the evening hours in towards the HRM, and then overnight through Sunday. That heavy rain continues to spread north and east. So taking a look at your weekend forecast, Saturday, it's increasing cloud after a foggy start for most areas. Should be looking at a pretty decent afternoon. Temperatures low to mid-20s, could feel mid to high 20s, factoring in the humidex. Sunday, rain, heavy at times. Potential is there for some thunderstorms. And for coastal areas along the Atlantic coast in particular, you could be looking at a strong southeasterly wind really driving in those raindrops. Periods of rain will ease to lighter showers into Monday. And then as we take a look at that long-range outlook, get a bit of a reprieve into Tuesday with fairly sunny conditions. And next week, aside from a few shower chances, really not shaping up to be all that bad. Amy?
All right. We'll be looking for that sun for sure. Thanks to Jay. We're back after this. This fall, Nova Scotia plans to ban children under 14 from using electric bikes. But an emergency room doctor in Halifax is urging the province to think about raising that minimum age of riders even higher. We're joined now by Dr. Kirsten Wardenberg, a pediatric emergency physician and trauma team leader at the IWK Health Centre. So you've been collecting injury statistics from Halifax area hospitals this summer related to e-bike as well as e-scooter injuries. What were the ages of most of the people being treated?
So at the IWK, most of the patients we saw were around the age of 13. And in adults, we didn't see as many people injured with e-scooters, but they were around the age of 30. So overall, we're seeing kind of younger people that are using these e-scooters that are being injured, some as young as 8 years.
Well, how are these injuries happening? Where do the accidents take place?
Yeah, most commonly we were seeing them on the roads or on the sidewalks. And the most common injury we saw was them just falling off. So not being hit by an object per se, even though that did happen, but most commonly they were falling off of the e-bike or e-scooter.
Oh, well, how severe are some of these injuries?
Quite severe. So, for example, about 20% of the patients that we saw at the IWK and the other hospitals within Halifax, 20% of them had what we call a trauma team activation. So alarming enough injuries that, it requires a response from a specialized team to care for these injured patients.
How many of them were wearing helmets or other safety gear?
So in the children that we saw, so under the age of 16, because that's at IWK what we see, the age we see patients up to, 80% were wearing helmets, and in the adults, just around 40%. So not ideal, given that we know helmets do protect people from significant head injuries. So we really would love to see higher numbers, but that is pretty consistent with what we've seen in other research studies looking at injuries related to e-bikes and e-scooters.
Now, kids under 14 in Nova Scotia, they're already banned from using e-scooters and soon e-bikes. Why do you think making that age minimum even higher is the right step to take?
Well, my concern is that these children are not wearing helmets all the time, not wearing proper footwear, and likely not being supervised when they're using these devices. And as a result, they might be going faster speeds where they're at risk from what we've seen, more significant injuries. And I worry that, as we see people using them more, we're going to see more people injured. And if we don't pay attention to the ages of the children that we've been seeing with these significant injuries, we'll just keep seeing more and more children and adults impacted by these injuries.
Any indication that the government might take you up on your idea, your suggestion?
Well, we started this study just in May, and we've already have quite a significant number of patients. I hope this preliminary dive into this data that we've seen will kind of spark interest in discussions related to this, because I think it's really important for the government to see.
Well, what prompted you to start compiling these stats in the first place?
Well, I think just because I was seeing more patients impacted by injuries related to e-bikes and e-scooters in the emergency department, and with discussions with my colleagues, within, our city as well as across the country, everyone was seeing this. And so I just really wanted to make sure that we had the data that we needed to help inform the change to make people safer on the roads.
Well, what's your message to parents who might be considering allowing their children to use these kind of devices?
I think I would reconsider it if my child was going to wear it, unless you're going to be supervising them at all times. That under the age of, I'd say, likely 16, because across the country that is the age that other jurisdictions and provinces have used as the legal limit to use these. I'd say reconsider the use of them unless you have strict supervision. Always ensure helmets Another one is appropriate footwear, making sure there aren't multiple riders, there's only one, and that where they're riding is safe, where they're not at risk of, being hit. Also, not using their phones on the device and making sure it's not a gravel road. Again, like we've seen, a lot of injuries on with these kind of different things that aren't being done to make sure that they're safe while they're riding them.
All right. Well, lots of good advice. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, West Bank siege. As Israeli settlements expand rapidly, some are calling on the U.S. Embassy to step in. And 650-meter mistake, why some runners are crying foul after completing the Edmonton Marathon. Welcome back. In the occupied West Bank, a Palestinian American says Israeli settlers are threatening his home, and now he's calling on the U.S. Embassy to step in. As Margaret Evans tells us, he's one of many defending their properties as settlements expand.
That's my property.
Palestinian American Louis Reedy engaged with Israeli soldiers at his home on the outskirts of Kusra in the occupied West Bank.
It's closed. It's closed.
It's been declared part of a closed military zone after hard-line Jewish settlers attacked and besieged Reedy's home and others nearby. Reedy returned from the United States to help his brother protect the house, and he wants help from the U.S. Embassy.
I mean, walking in my own property and then someone coming out of nowhere telling me to leave and basically threaten me. It's a dangerous situation.
Israeli settlement expansion has accelerated dramatically under the tenure of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and ultranationalist coalition partners accused of giving tacit approval to settler violence.
This is a phenomena which we see happening in dozens of other Palestinian villages in the West Bank. Settlers trying to take over Palestinian houses.
Hardline Jewish settlers base themselves in small outposts, says Israeli activist and settlement monitor Dror Edkis.
The problem is not Kusra, is not the specific house in Kusra. The problem is the system which produces this type of violence.
That Israeli soldiers haven't fully removed the settlers from Kusra fuels the Palestinians' conviction that they're there to enable the settlers.
Because if the Israeli army want to move the settlers, they can move it in just 1 hour.
Like that's a bullet hole.
Yes.
We met Rabia Odeh in 2023 after her family home in Kusra was attacked by Jewish settlers from an outpost that has only grown since.
It's not safe at all. It's not safe at all.
But the consequence could
be... The U.S. ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, generally supportive of Israel's settlement enterprise, has denounced the Kusra settlers.
I don't call them settlers, they're unsettlers.
Reedy wants more.
I appreciate he called them terrorists and disgusting. However, I would like him to follow up on this and make sure they are being removed.
Until then, he says, he's staying put. Margaret Evans, CBC News, London.
Ukraine says 14 people have been killed after Russian drones struck a shopping center in Volodymyr Zelensky's hometown. Local officials say more than 120 others, including 22 children, have been injured in the attack. Zelensky described it as a double tap strike. It's when an initial wave of attack hits an area, followed by a second wave after rescue workers respond at the scene. Russian forces have intensified their missile and drone attacks in recent months. It comes as Ukraine struggles with a chronic shortage of U.S.-made Patriot missiles it needs for air defense. Well, a countdown is on in Alberta to a referendum that could put the province's future in Canada on the line. With Albertans heading to the polls in just 2 months, both sides of the separation debate are ramping up their campaigns. Brian Labby reports.
Thank you so much.
With just 60 days to go until Alberta's referendum, the push for voters is on.
I think we're in the sort of second period of a hockey game.
In October, Albertans will decide whether Alberta should remain in Canada or begin the legal process toward a second binding referendum on separation.
People like this one.
Thomas Lukazik is an organizer with Forever Canadian. He's focusing on spreading a pro-Canada message, driving around in what he calls the Unity Bus.
As I drive the bus, you would think it's Canada Day every day because there are brand new flags hoisted on barns, on farm fences, and businesses and people's homes.
We can do better for our kids. We can do better for our seniors. We can do better.
Let Alberta Decide is one of the separatist groups.
We're 60 days out, and there's a lot to do.
That includes fine-tuning digital ads and messaging.
You can have more nuanced messages that are more focused, for example, on young men in their 20s who are struggling to make rent and feeling they may never own a home.
But they could have an uphill battle. Polling has consistently shown support for separatism is well behind those who want to remain in Canada, making getting out the vote key.
So those organizational factors that we call the ground game or the get out the vote campaign, those are all going to be extremely important.
And counting those votes could take time. A former chief electoral officer warns of long lines and delays in getting the results.
15 million to 17 million ballots to be counted, ballots to be handed out and processed, and then those ballots to be counted in a very short time.
Elections Alberta says it needs 60,000 people to run the referendum. So far, it's only received 30,000 applications for the October 19th vote. Brian Labby, CBC News, Calgary.
Organizers of the Edmonton Marathon are apologizing after the course was measured incorrectly for their big event on Sunday. The mistake has put qualifying times for other races in jeopardy. And as Julie Wong tells us, it is a major blow to runners who'd been training for months.
The feeling was electric as thousands of runners hit the pavement Sunday for the Edmonton Marathon, including Mitch Walls, who says he was running a perfect race, meant to be 42.2 kilometers. But his GPS watch and the markers didn't add up.
And then when my watch beeped 40 kilometers, I realized I had about 3 kilometers left actually on the course. I realized something majorly was wrong.
And there was. Despite initially saying the courses were measured correctly, organizers now admit more than 670 meters was added to the half marathon and marathon routes, an error made while accommodating a construction detour. Organizers declined an interview request. Chase LaRose ran the half marathon that day.
This doesn't make any sense.
He was left frustrated and confused.
I knew I had that time. I knew I hit that time, but at the same time, it was discouraging that it was officially wasn't the case.
This endurance sports expert says what happened in Edmonton is the exception, not the norm.
This happens so rarely. For the most part, race directors and course organizers do take this so seriously.
As for Walls, the mistake is a big deal. He had been training for more than a year for the race in order to qualify for the Boston Marathon, but finished 4 minutes slower than his goal.
Had the course been correct, I think the odds were better than not that I'd have a really good chance of making it. Now it's sort of the reverse of that. So the odds are better than not. I won't be. And
Edmonton Marathon organizers say they're talking to other races to see how results can be recognized. The New York City Marathon says runners will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis, while the Boston Marathon says it cannot accept adjusted results. Julia Wong, CBC News, Edmonton.
Researchers in BC say they found a way to turn logging waste into an alternative to plastic foam packaging. As John Hernandez reports, those behind the program say it can help use up forest debris from logging that fuels wildfires.
These are the ones that came from the shavings, from the sawmills.
UBC researcher Yale Zhu has spent years perfecting how to turn this wood waste into a substitute for plastic packaging.
This product, we made it from the low value pulp, wood fibers, and forestry residues. What we are trying to do is that we want to extract the majority, the value out of it.
The wood waste comes from different parts of BC's forestry sector. It's brought to this East Vancouver plant where it's mixed a soupy mix of wood waste gets dumped into this custom machine and comes out looking like a pulpy cake. That's then slid into a giant oven and baked. The end product, wood foam that can be used in packaging and even building insulation.
Every tree that gets harvested, 30% of the feedstock does not get utilized. If we could even take a fraction of that and then replace everyday existing products that are made of plastics or very carbon-intensive products, I feel like that's a big deal, right? Especially when we have materials just sitting in the forest.
These processors believe projects like this are one way to make use of forest debris that fuel wildfires across BC. This plant can produce about 200 kilograms a day. Plans are to expand to a facility in Burns Lake, where they'll make 1,000 tons per year.
And then we'll move on to what we're thinking should be able to deliver a significant quantity to the Pacific Northwest.
Daichen Foam is owned by the Wet'suwet'en First Nation, which has been recruiting Indigenous staff to help run it.
Now we're here a year and a half later, and can't see myself anywhere else.
Expansion seemingly on the horizon for this modest plant, which hopes to eventually sell wood foam for the same price as its plastic competition. John Hernandez, CBC News, Vancouver.
A Saskatchewan man is embarking on a lifelong dream. He's loved and collected trains for years, and now he's opened his own railway tour through the prairies. Sean Mullen has that story.
A winding train tour through the grassy riverbanks and eroded badlands of the Frenchman River Valley is the culmination of Gary Southgate's vision.
Oh, I guess I had a tear or two in my eye the first trip. Yeah, it was pretty unique.
The farmer from North Battleford says his fascination with trains began as a kid. He started out collecting old trains 13 years ago, but he says it wasn't enough to just own them. He wanted to find somewhere to put them back to work.
My family probably thinks I'm nuts, so anyway, I want to do something to save some history, I guess, before I die, and maybe some other people will carry on with it when I'm gone and make it unique for East End and the province and all Canada.
Southgate says he considered other locations to run his trains, from Winnipeg to Squamish, but a visit to East End opened his eyes to the unique geography of the region.
The river valley is incredible. You wouldn't think you would see it down here in the prairies kind of thing, because you all of a sudden go from flat to a valley, deep valley. The river flows through it. We saw a moose today. We've been regularly seeing, lots of wildlife. It's just beautiful countryside in the middle of nowhere.
The early response allowed East End Scenic Rail Tours to add 8 tours to the schedule this year.
It's a beautiful train ride. The valley is gorgeous.
And Southgate isn't stopping there. He's already bought the motel in East End, has plans for an RV park at the rail yard, a museum of old train equipment, and a building for working on equipment during the winter months.
Everything I've done here is robbed from the farm to pay the bills, and the farm can hardly pay for its own bills the way the price of grain is, so now I have to start making the train pay its own way.
In the area known as Saskatchewan's Valley of Hidden Secrets, Southgate continues to make his childhood fascination come to life. Sean Mullen, CBC News, East End.
All right, we're back to wrap things up. So with a super soaker coming on Sunday, I guess we make the most of Saturday, right?
Yeah, we have that advisory in place, special weather statements. Now, we may see that upgraded to warnings for some areas, could drop off for others as we start to get a better handle on that potential rain. But just know, likely going to be soggy for most of Nova Scotia on Sunday. In some areas, as we saw along the Atlantic coast there in that last forecast model, 50, 80, even amounts locally 90, near 100 millimeters possible. Much of that falling on Sunday. So that's a high rate of rainfall. Tonight, that scattered shower chance will diminish through the evening hours. We do see some low cloud and fog starting to build in past midnight from the South Shore region, working its way north and east. And that could lead to, well, maybe a foggy and drizzly start, mainly for coastal areas, but some inland spots too, into your Saturday morning. Sky does begin to clear once the fog lifts, though, for most of mainland Nova Scotia. Decently sunny into the afternoon, but we will be watching for that cloud cover to increase. So towards supper time, already starting to become mainly cloudy into Halifax, and then we see that cloud cover building its way north and east as that rain, the first of those raindrops, start to work their way in from Yarmouth, Digby, east towards Bridgewater, and then eventually later in the evening towards Halifax as well. That's all ahead of that heavier rain building in overnight through Sunday morning. So we'll start out with some fog and some low cloud in the morning for your Saturday. We do see by mid-morning, once that fog lifts, decently sunny conditions through the middle part of the day, but by late afternoon, those clouds do begin to increase. I do expect that rain to hold off until into the evening hours, but we will be looking at Saturday night into early Sunday, that heavier rain and that fairly gusty southeasterly wind starting to build in as that system moves in as well. So keep an eye on your basement if it's prone to taking on water. And if you're doing any driving, this is the kind of rain where the windshield wipers may struggle to keep up at times. And hydroplaning, of course, always a concern on area roads.
Yes, absolutely. Stay safe. Thanks for that, Jay. Biologists from a variety of disciplines have come together for Biota NB. It's an intense 2-week survey and collection of biological specimens in a provincial protected area in New Brunswick. Shane Fowler reports.
Over the course of 2 weeks, biologists from across the continent will come together in a New Brunswick forest in order to scour for new species and collect specimens for the New Brunswick Museum's research collection. The goal is to survey the Black River Protected Natural Area and create an extensive catalog of the species that exist in that environment, from birds to bugs to mammals to mosses and everything in between. And they're also collecting specimens for future research.
So we are trying to survey biodiversity in the Black River Protected Natural Area near Miramichi. This is part of a near 20-year-long project. It started in 2009, where we've been surveying some of the biggest protected natural areas in the province. And as part of this project, we bring in experts from across New Brunswick, Canada, and even the world to participate in surveying every bit of biodiversity that we can, from small mites to mammals and amphibians. Plants, mushrooms, lichens, small insects, everything we can possibly get, and very often it's the things that are overlooked that turn out to be the most interesting. So we get a lot of new species to science we're discovering right here in the province. That includes new species of mushroom, new species of insect, as well as a lot of new Canadian records.
Why is that? Is that just because nobody's done thorough looks like that in this area before?
Absolutely. It's like I said, they're easily overlooked, and also the expertise. It takes often a career to develop the professional eye to identify what is a new species of moth that might only be, less than a centimeter wide wingspan.
Biota is the highlight of my year because you're seeing scientists and friends, you're learning about things that are outside of your field, you're sharing knowledge from within your field, all the while contributing to knowledge about our province and the environment, and all around it's just such a positive experience, and we want people to know about it, we want people to participate. With this project, we're examining how climate change may be impacting the size of frogs. Because I'm imaging thousands of specimens essentially, I really need the public's help to help me measure these frogs because it would take me years to do them all by myself. I take the images, I check them, and then I upload them to this website called Notes from Nature. And the New Brunswick Museum has a little project page where people can look at our specimens and measure them on the computer. So you can be anywhere and contribute to this project. So having public participation will help us get the data, but hopefully also will make the public feel more involved with this project and fighting against climate change, and that they can make a difference.
And check out this property. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg has bought a 19th century castle in southeast Ireland. The castle overlooking the River Blackwater is estimated to be worth between 32 and 48 million Canadian dollars. It was built around 1830. Zuckerberg's company owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Meta has its European headquarters in Ireland. The company has attracted several American tech giants because of its low corporate tax rate. That's White House. Well, that is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.